We're bird watching.
If you want to keep up with a 5-year-old with an appreciation for the outdoors,
Any in the trees,
you need to bring plenty of ambition.
But I think I see a nest.
Kellan Tilton can spot a bird from a mile away, as well as other species.
We get squirrels too. Squirrels.
Bird watching is just one of his hobbies. He's also pretty darn good at basketball.
And he goes for the shot. And he shoots. And he scores!
Celebrating his victories inside with his mom Elizabeth.
I've never did it that far back before.
And challenging her and his younger brother outside with a colder ball. You've noticed by now that Kellan has flair, but you've also probably noticed his wheelchair. Kellan had surgery to remove a tumor on his spine when he was 3 months old, but the tumor had lasting impacts that he's pretty good at explaining himself.
It was on my legs and my spine, and when I was getting bigger and the cells were spreading, something happened and one of the cells turned bad and it grew, and I think it touched the other cells and it made it bad.
That bad means that Kellan is paralyzed and has no use of his legs.
We know that he was kicking up until about 20 weeks in utero, and that's when he got really quiet.
As a nurse herself, Elizabeth knew the seriousness of her baby's delivery, but no parents can prepare themselves for the news that followed.
That next day, we were told it was neuroblastoma, and 3 days later, he started chemo. So he had 4 rounds of chemo, and he had surgery at 3 months old.
After the tumor was removed from his spine, doctors said that there was no longer any evidence of disease.
How many patients have you gone through?
He still makes a yearly trip to Dr. Stanley Chalif at Maine Children's Cancer Program for health checks.
That it was in my spine and my tummy.
It's where he and I both learned that it's actually not uncommon for a child to be born with cancer.
It doesn't happen often, luckily. There are a number of cancers that can occur at birth. So neuroblastoma is one of them. The other is sometimes we can see some leukemias that present just at the time that a child is born. And very rarely you can see some brain tumors at the time that the child is born as well.
What cancers did the kids have that you've been through?
When you're as well spoken about cancer as Kellan is,
Oh, I found something cool. Come over.
and as adventurous as he is, despite a difficult encounter with cancer, it makes sense to award him.
I got the one that looks like a nest.
The St. Baldrick's Foundation has named him one of their 2018 ambassadors.
And I represent all the kids across the country that have childhood cancer.
Absolutely excited about it, and he loves to tell a story, and he loves to be an advocate for himself and for others, so it was a perfect fit.
If Elizabeth can keep up with her 5-year-old, the two will make trips to St. Baldrick's events, schools, and of course hospitals.
What was the name of the cancer that you had?
Neuroblastoma?
Talking about his battle with cancer, but also spreading some of that ambition he's known for
I've never done it back here before.
in his foul shot,
New high score!
his bird watching,
Diagonal tree laying down.
t-ball practice, and even adaptive climbing and downhill skiing. Kellan is one of the most active ambassadors for childhood cancer that St. Baldrick's has ever chosen.
I want to say thank you to you for doing this work. Instead of taking it on the negative side, he continues to thrive and excel from some of the difficulties he had to go through. So I'm sure he'll do a phenomenal job as an ambassador.
When you're able to punch out cancer at just 3 months old, there isn't much in life you can't do, and nothing that you can't make the best of.
Ooh, I see something that looks like a nest.
In being able to be an advocate for himself, that brings positivity as well.